follow-up is the key. And prospecting and reaching out without lead follow-up and nurturing that lead until they're ready to buy or sell is your biggest downfall. And most agents won't call past 2 to 3 contacts. It takes on average 8 to 12 contacts to even set an appointment. And it takes countless meetings to actually get that to a sale. So that's how many contacts and meetings already, maybe 20. But most people are quitting at 2 to 3. So if you're just willing to follow up aggressively and intensely until the lead is ready to transact, that's all there is to it. People just quit too maturely, and there's no magic in online leads, or there's no magic with SOI. You just have to call them until they're ready. And social media is great. It generates leads and it generates people calling in, but you still need to be able to follow up until they are ready to transact. So if you're listening out there right now, keep prospecting, keep following up on your leads until they tell you yes, or they tell you go fuck yourself.
The real estate biz is drastically changing, and modern real estate success can't be learned in some old course manual. This is everything they never told you about real estate.
Welcome. I am your host, Carrie, and I am joined with a very special guest. I've been trying to get him on for quite a while now. Super busy because he is the president of EXP Canada and a realtor himself with his own team. It's John Tsai. Thank you, John, for coming on today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure to be interviewed and to share any sort of value for the audience to help move their business or the mindset forward. So glad to be here. Thank you.
So you have a team, you have 15 agents in your immediate team in Vancouver, Canada, correct?
Actually, we've recruited 20 in the last, I think, 2 months, and we're up to 40 right now. So a very new 40.
Amazing. And you obviously have an expansion team across North America as well, right? You recruit to EXP. Obviously, EXP is a wonderful company. I am an EXP agent as well. I have a question. What made you make the switch personally? I had my own reasons, but I'm finding that everybody has their own reason for moving over.
I think for me was kind of like the perfect storm at that time. For myself, I was doing about 150 transactions in 2016. I was completely burnt out. I mean, selling that many homes, working 7 days a week, 12 to 14-hour days. So from there onwards, my production started to go downwards because I was so burnt. And by 2017-18, I was looking for a way out. Way out meaning, okay, I can no longer keep this pace at this pace for the next 10, 15 years. The foreseeable future, I was going to burn out and quit altogether. So I thought, okay, what's the next step for a real estate agent? Is to own a company, right? And is to own a company where you can create residual income, where you can create some equity for yourself. And the only way was to buy a franchise or start an independent brokerage, right? And myself and my partner, we were thinking about, okay, what would this independent be? Or if we were to go with Remax, that was probably the best model in terms of franchise that we could think of. So we decided to scrap the independent model, and then we started chatting with Remax because my partner was already with Remax. I was locally here. I was with Rennie and Associates, an independent brokerage boutique, very well-known person, Bob Rennie. If you ever Google him, absolute legend in our market. But Remax said, okay, we can give you equity, we can give you revenue share, and we can give you KV Core at $1,200 a month. All these three would help you create a future where you could potentially sell your business 15, 20 years down the road and make some equity, have something to show for it at the end of the day, instead of just selling real estate. I said, okay, great. All that was going to give me some freedom. How much was it going to be? And they said $500,000. I said, wow, okay, well, that's quite a bit. That's like a, locally here, for Tim Hortons, it was going to be that much, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, no problem. I wasn't going to go to Tim Hortons and buy a franchise. I didn't know anything else but real estate. I said, okay, let's go. I was actually in debt at that time. Making over 7 figures, was still in debt. That's just what a realtor is, right? That's what we do. Um, but I was willing to take out another loan for 125 and get 3 other partners to go ahead with it.
Mhm.
And we vetted them for about a year. And before we signed on the dotted line, my partner, Bill Layler, came to me and said, "Hey, why don't we take a look at this thing called EXP?" I was like, "What's EXP?" He said,
Mhm.
"Well, this new company out of Dallas." I thought it was from Dallas. And we sat down, sorry, we talked over the phone with Haas Pratt. And he's like, "John, have you, ever looked into network marketing, ever looked into Amway or New Skin or USON?" I'm like, yeah. I've been in those companies before. I know the concept. He's like, "Well, this is just kind of like that." And the other concept was, do you know what Apple does and what Starbucks does for their employees? I said, "Yeah, they give stocks." And I was like, "Well, that's kind of what EXP has as well." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's
Mhm.
cool. So how does that even happen? Because in a normal brick and mortar traditional brokerage, there's no way it could happen." "Well, John, this is a completely cloud-based brokerage, and all the money that's being saved from no franchise fees, no desk fees, and no brick and mortar is invested right back into the agents. You can also get KV Core for completely no charge." I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, now this is a scam." But I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do some digging." So thereafter, I spoke to Gene Frederick, Rob Flick, Brent Gove, um, Cliff Freeman, Steve Merritt, and Christian Bear. I talked to 6 people, and they all told me, "John, this is absolutely legit." And we're also right now, at that time, 2018, already making $55 to $100,000 a month in revenue share. I was like, "Wow, okay. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could do it." I mean, you guys are the OGs of the company already. So um, I said, "Let me think about it." And then Cliff Freeman, my last interview, he said, "John, let me ask you a question. If you were to come out of an EXP, revenue share doesn't work, stocks don't, pan out, and then KV Core don't give you any leads, what are you?" I said, "Well, I guess I'm still a producing agent crushing 100 listings a year." It's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you could always go back to Remax, can't you? Or you can always go back to Brandy, can't you?" I was like, you got a point there." And then I asked him, "Cliff, how much are you making right now in revenue share per month?" He said $55,000.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Wow, that could pay off all my bills and I could be home free and make work optional, making selling real estate optional at that point." I hung up the phone and my wife was listening.
Mhm.
And my wife tapped me on the shoulder because I had him on speakerphone. She looked at me wide eyed and she's like, "You need to get involved now." And like a good husband, happy wife, happy life, I signed on the dotted line that night. And, for almost 5 years later now, we are completely financially free. I can say, if I sell everything, if I sell my team, I could be home free. Like I don't actually have to sell real estate right now. We could be home free. And
Yeah.
from the equity that we've accumulated over the past 4 years and 9 months, I could cash out. I could pay off a majority portion of my mortgage. I have a $2 million mortgage, and we could be sitting pretty, right? So I went from 7 days a week, Carrie,
Mhm.
to 4 days a week because of revenue share and because I built a team.
Mhm.
And you know it completely changed my family life, changed my financial life. And I was getting complacent. And I'll tell you, this is the further story of that story, is that everything was good. And then things started to change in Canada. We needed new leadership. And
Yeah.
then Glenn calls me March the 6th this year, and he was like, "Hey, John." Have you ever spoken to Glenn before?
I haven't. I'm trying to get him on the podcast though.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if you're not coming next week to EXPCon, you should register and just fly over from Niagara. Okay. So
I'm
um,
speaking
he
at
calls
EXP
me.
next week. I'm coming to speak on campus next
Yes.
week. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
I love it. So let's get you connected with Glenn. Let's have
Okay.
a chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you get connected. So Glenn calls me and he was like, John. And I said, hi, Glenn, how are you? He said, good, good, good. Long pause. And I thought, you know what? When the CEO of the company calls you, either getting fired or you're getting promoted to something, right? And I was really nervous. And he said, John, we have this leadership role vacant right now. Just wondering if you'd like to consider it, and if you do consider it, we would get the alignment from the Agent Advisory Council. I said, "What is it?" He said, "Well, essentially, it's the president of EXP Realty Canada." I said, "What?" And then, of course, immediately I said yes.
Yeah, I love that.
And I was like, I don't know how to be a president of the company. My last job, a real job, I was actually selling jeans on Robson Street here in downtown Vancouver, and and now I'm the president of the company. But I said, Glenn, put me in, coach. I don't know what to do, but you tell me and I'll go and execute.
Yeah.
And so here I am, Carrie, being the president. It means to me, he said, go to 5 Canadian cities a month, speak, train, inspire, grow, and work on retention. I said, okay, great, put me in. And
Oh,
so far, almost 6 months now, I'm in this role. I'm absolutely loving it, and wouldn't ask for a better challenge in life than this. So thank you,
yeah, I want
thank
to
you for
talk
allowing me to
about.
share. That was a long story.
That's okay. No, you know what? I really wanted to know because it's such an amazing story. I know Nadia's story. I had her on a couple weeks ago. And I want to bring up another side to EXP because I have
Sure.
been an agent here in Ontario for close to 14 years. And I didn't have a great experience in this industry. I experienced a lot of gatekeeping and jealousy and competition within
Yep.
my own brokerage. I didn't even, I was very confined to the office and city that I was in. So Gogo, who's a friend of mine, we've been friends on social media for years and years, reached out to me,
Awesome.
and I joined for very different reasons. I joined
Hmm.
because I wanted to take my real estate career more into coaching. So GoGo was such a
Mm.
great fit for me. And I don't see any other way that I could have done what I'm like in the process of doing and getting access to people who have already done what I want to do outside of EXP.
Yes.
And that for me was everything. The stocks are great, not why I joined. Revenue share,
Mm-hmm.
great concept, and I'm going to go down that road obviously through the coaching, but again, not why I joined. Even the fees, because I was at Remax paying a lot of money, and I was fine with that. For me, it was the environment, the community,
Mm.
no more gatekeeping. Like I feel like I joined right before I joined, I revamped because it was COVID. I revamped my entire drip campaigns and automation, right? And I did it from scratch.
Awesome.
There was no AI at that point, right? So did everything from scratch. It took me 6 months to get a really, really good system in place and revamp that system. I joined EXP and Gogo calls me and she's like, what do you need? What can I send you? I'll send you Google Drives of everything you need. And I just like, it hit me
Wow.
that this is just a whole other level. You know what I mean? This isn't even collaboration at this point, you know? It's literally helping everybody out. And that's
Yeah.
what I love about it. And I've yeah, I've just got so many plans now, and it just opened up so many possibilities for me personally that it changed my life. It made me like real estate again. It made me aspire. How are you supposed to aspire to do great things when you're confined to an office in your city? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's
You're
so
capped.
much more out
You're
there.
capped. It's just exposure, right? And then you go to EXPCon, you go to all these regional events, or even Brent's Build. You can meet people who are doing 1,000 transactions in a year, and you would never see that locally. It's
Yeah.
tough. But when you actually go and meet those people, and they are just an open book and so willing to help, you can't ask for more than that. So
Yeah,
it's completely different than what I was used to.
I mean,
So
the things that EXP has done for me so far, like they're putting me on a stage at EXP Con Canada. They have put me in contact where I've been asked, like Jennifer Jones, I'm speaking at two of her conferences in Toronto.
wow,
Um,
I love her.
EXP University reached out to me and put me on Level Up and then told me it was, they want me back over and over again. Like that kind of platform is just so invaluable. And I got to tell you, I was okay because I sell my coaching and I had an office, a very large Toronto office, reach out to me to purchase my coaching program for all of their agents
Mm,
because I coach social media and AI and nobody's doing that yet,
mm,
right?
yeah.
They tried to get me over there and I'm just like, if this is a contingency of you buying my program, it's not happening.
Mm,
This is the
yeah.
reason that I left you guys in the first place. Just
Mm,
trying to hoard and gatekeep everything, right? It's
mm,
just not, it doesn't align with me and, my vision and my future. So I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like that's a lot of agents are going through that and they're
mhm.
not feeling, comfortable where they are.
Yeah.
And, it's maybe it's not a thing about money. Maybe it's about, environment, right? So it's huge. So I have a question for you. You lead a
Sure.
team. I had a team, I hated it personally. It was it was not my thing. What do you find the most challenging thing being a team leader?
For me, it's definitely the willingness to let go,
Mm,
the willingness to have things go sideways. Because when you're growing a team, when you're growing in general, you're gonna experience bumps along the road. But if you're not willing to let go with delegation, not willing to let go of responsibility and accountability to others, you will never grow. You will just never grow, and you'll keep yourself pretty small by hanging on to everything. And so for me, it was the biggest was first letting go of the paperwork,
yeah.
that, and then next was letting go of my buyers to the next person.
Mm,
Next was letting go of everything else, admin, to hire a second assistant. And then it was like, okay, I'm letting go of all my buyers through two agents that I hired. And then next thing was letting go of some of my listings. And then by the time I had 7 agents, I was almost out of production,
yeah.
right? And then 2021, I got out of production with 13 agents, right?
Okay.
But that in the process of that, I had to let go each step of the way and be unattached, right?
Yeah.
But I was still like kind of in the daily managing and inspiring. And then when Glenn called me for this position, he's like, I think you better hire a team manager. I was like, I've been wanting to hire a team manager forever. And then two things were just lagging there because I didn't want to change my team name. I didn't know how to change my team name. It was the John Tsai group forever, right?
Yeah.
And then I had to let go of my identity and let go of the managing of the team. And when I got the president role, those two things almost happened immediately. I had to let go. I couldn't
Yeah.
be here full time anymore. So now the team manager showed up, Axel. He's absolutely phenomenal, amazing human being. Couldn't ask for a better partner. He's managing the team. And then we've rebranded the John Tsai group to the Align group almost overnight, and everything's working out great. But it took a lot of training in here, up
Yeah.
here, to be able to let go of all that. And still, things still hit the fan today, and I just have to let go because uh, you're going to have deals fall apart. You're going to have people leave you. Your teammates, admin, agents, staff, like, or clients.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be willing to let go of some of that for you to grow to the next level. So for me, it's definitely letting go. Sorry, I'm giving super long answers.
No, that's fine. This is actually the thing that I struggle with the most in my career. I am I am a perfectionist. I yeah, it's delegation is what I struggle with. So,
Mm,
I hired a producer for this podcast. It's great. I teach social media at a high level. So his job
mm,
was to take the podcast, edit it, and then upload it to all of the platforms, including the socials.
love that.
Yeah, but it didn't go great because I felt like I was just so critical because this is, what I teach. I was so critical. And then I would get frustrated and I'm like, oh, I need to fire him. And then what I did was I sat down and I taught him my social media systems. And I taught him about the algorithms and I taught him about all of this stuff. So now he can literally do exactly what I like to do. So that's the key for me is just to
Perfect.
take the time and teach people exactly how I want things done. Because being a control freak, right? It's hard. So hard
Yeah.
to yeah, it is. So that's the one thing that I struggle with. And yeah, when I had my team, it was interesting. It was interesting. I got I almost had two lawsuits during that time. So
Oh
yeah,
boy.
it's difficult,
Well,
right?
just touching on that as well, like that's why EXP works so well because you can come over to EXP and start to build a unofficial team or a global team, quote unquote, through your revenue share group, and you don't actually have to build an official team. I just happen to have a team when I came over to EXP, but I
Yeah,
know agents that have over 5,000 agents, but no team. And
yeah.
I think that's the beauty of EXP is that you don't have to build a team to have a team and to create that residual income for yourself. So I think, it's not for everyone, and I think you're doing great. So
Ah,
go towards what's good.
thanks. It's
Yeah.
difficult because I'm transitioning more into the coaching. So it's like I'm at that really weird spot right now. I want to talk about
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
what's next for EXP Canada specifically. I've got a great idea and I brought it up to Nadia when I saw her. Um, I feel like because I talk to a lot of agents and through my podcast, through my social media, and I feel like we have an epidemic of agents that are living paycheck to paycheck, not spending their money wisely, not saving their money wisely, no business plan. I was guilty of that too when I first came into the industry. Too many realtors are not financially literate. And I would love to see at EXP a specific program for them to go through. That teaches them, what they should be spending their money on, how they should be reinvesting in their company, and kind of gets their business planning side structured nicely. And I think that would be amazing for retention because a lot of agents that drop out of real estate or change brokerages, they change because they're looking for a solution to a money problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we could solve
Absolutely.
that for them or put something in place that will guide them, I feel like that would do wonders for agent retention. What do you think?
I I think you should speak in the EXP world first, right? Frequently, and then make it an official program building from there. So build up some content first,
Mm-hmm.
get noticed, and then we'll go to Carolyn and we'll do an official program. But I think you should speak first, so people get to know you first and foremost,
Yeah.
right? And then second, when you have some content, compile it all together, then you can make it into something official with us. I
Yeah.
think start from baby steps. But I love it. I love that because most realtors make what they make and then they spend 10% more.
Right. Right?
So,
Like, what use is it to make $500,000 a year if you're spending 1 million?
well, like I said, I was making seven figures and I was still in debt when I was considering Remax. So, money management and profitability is absolutely crucial. I'm very good at prospecting and getting deals. I'll admit that, but I'm not so good at the money management thing. And it is what it is. So I got to learn as well. So I'm looking forward to your program.
Okay, let's talk about my jam is social media and AI. I probably can
Yeah,
guarantee that I know more about AI than most agents out there. I spend I spend my time building apps and workflows and automation. Like, I just geek right out. It's
love it.
insane. It's insane. Like, how important for social media? How important do you think social media is for a realtor?
I think it's becoming more and more important that
Yeah.
you need to have content out there.
Hmm.
The level playing field in the past is that if you have sales skills, you're good.
Yeah.
But now it's like if you don't have content out there, whatever it may be, to get noticed, and if
Yeah.
you're not on all social platforms, including YouTube, you're at a disadvantage.
Hmm.
And you don't even have to have that good of content, but at least if you're searchable, then you're good. But when you have good content, you can crush the competition.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'll say this.
Hmm.
When you have content, you have good content, but you don't know how to sell, you don't have the language of sales, you still won't be able to convert at a high level. So learning the language of sales and then having social media content,
Hmm.
I think you'll be unstoppable. But for myself, I am prospecting based, marketing enhanced. But if I'm prospecting based today, but I have no marketing, then I'm fucked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I totally agree with that. I, I preach social media as a way of prospecting, but I do always reiterate every single time that yes, I run 98% of my business through my social media. However, I have a great database that is automated and I work my SOI properly. The social media
Mm.
is like the icing on the cake and it gets me in front of my SOI way more often because in KV Core, we have the ability when a lead comes in to go push a nice little button and add them on LinkedIn or Facebook or find them on Google, right? So you're just
Yeah.
retargeting them that way. Um, but yeah, the bread and butter of your business should be your database, SOI management, and then everything else is
Absolutely.
just, add-ons that, accentuates that. Yeah. Social media, I run my whole business from. I'm actually speaking about it at EXP Con next week. I'm on a panel about social
Ooh, I can't
media.
wait.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I write about it every month in Buzz magazine. So I
Oh, wow.
this is my jam. I love it. And
I love it.
there's two ways that realtors are using social media. And the first way is like a resume or a secondary website. And that's the way that the majority of realtors are using it. But there is a way to
Mm,
generate business from it, not leads. I'm talking business. There's a huge difference, right?
mm.
Um, Business is having people reach out so you can help them buy or sell a house, as opposed
Oh,
to
I love it.
chasing down leads. So I think more agents should be definitely optimizing their social media for that.
Love
AI, are
that.
you using AI in your business?
I think our admin does the listing description now through AI, or at least help with it. She was
Mhm.
already pretty good, but using AI probably speeds it up. And for myself, I'm always on my Chat GPT app. I ask anything, and not even even outside of the business. Inside of the business, I would ask a lot of questions, and I mean, it always gives good content. So if I ask give me five videos that will go viral and give us a lot of listing leads, and then boom, you know
Yeah.
gives it to you.
Yeah.
So before I would have to brainstorm and like write down my 5 points. Oh, like it would just hurt my brain, right?
yeah, I use ChatGPT to brainstorm. It's a really great way to
Yeah,
brainstorm by getting that base idea and then just working it through to get actual product from it, right? Um,
I love it. Yeah,
there's
exactly.
some advancements coming. There's some ways to prime it for your business. Like if you go under your settings, custom instructions is a really good tip for you. If you go in there, it has 2 spots that you can fill
Ooh,
out. One of them is all about you and your business. So I put my goals, my business, who I'm targeting, where I want to be in 5 years. I fill all that in.
ooh,
The second
love
section
it.
is how you want GPT to respond. So how you want the output. So
Wow.
I've accumulated a list of rules so that I know I'm getting the best output possible. I'm going to send those to you, John.
Wow.
They're freaking great. And
Very
now
cool. Thank
the,
you.
the new advancement is it's going to be customizable for your business. So you're going to be able to feed in all of your whole drive of your business so that it can specifically answer tailored to you and your business, which is really exciting.
Mm.
There are some tools that already do that. I have a tool, what's it called? I think it's cohesive.ai. It's primarily social media based. It's a nice tool. But they have a knowledge section. And what you do is you give it access to your Google Drive, your business Google Drive, so that it can take your own content to help answer anything that you are prompting, which is kind of cool. So you might want to check that
Awesome.
one out too.
Love that.
I could talk
Thank
about
you.
AI. AI is the future, okay? So what I did
Yeah.
yesterday, because I am now an AI powered agent. I'm running my business with AI. It helps me do absolutely everything. You know what I did the other day? So I gave a
What?
broker access to my coaching program so he could review it to see if he wanted to purchase it for his
Mm.
company, the one I told you about. Well, my lawyers weren't answering me, so I drafted a confidentiality and non-compete agreement using ChatGPT, and then I just sent it over
Wow.
to my lawyer, and he's like, I wouldn't change a thing. So I'm
That's
using it
crazy.
for a lot of stuff. Of course, like I'm double checking everything. You obviously need to be doing that,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
um
For
I
sure.
think the AI powered agent is the future. And when people argue with me and they say, well, clients don't care about that. Well, I've been going to listing appointments for 7 years against gigantic teams in my area, and I have been winning because of my social media presence. Even though they're an older
Mm.
couple, don't know anything about social media, you the client does not have to understand social media or AI to know that they want the realtor using it, right? So I
Mm.
think it's the future of our business. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's not a replacement of us, and yet it's an enhancement of us. And so Glenn actually said on stage many times that AI will not replace us. AI will not take over real estate
Yeah,
business, but AI will enhance the AI powered agents,
yeah,
right, to dominate over the non-AI powered agents. So that's basically the future. So if you're not good with AI, not good with Chat GPT, I would suggest and recommend that you got to look into it. And I'm not a tech guy, but I got to look into, what's the future. And if
yeah,
you're not with the future,
yeah.
you're just going to be left behind, right? So I think it's a good chance for you to take more market share because of that in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. Um, there's a lot of ways agents shouldn't be using it. And I feel like I have to say that, anything that is counterproductive to authenticity is a very wrong choice. So you need to really pick and choose what you're using. Just because they make it doesn't mean you should use it. That's what I tell
True.
everybody. Like, don't do these fake avatars, don't do all of that garbage. Like there needs to be a level of authenticity in our business, right? Like
Yeah,
we're
100%.
working off trust, John. That's that our
Yeah,
business is built on trust. So anything that's going to jeopardize that is a no-go.
no go at all. I
Okay,
totally agree with that. So
so you wrote a book, which is super exciting. How to Be a Beast.
thank
Like
you.
I feel like that is the best title I've ever heard for a book. And you outline these 13 iron laws. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for putting that out there. So the 13 Iron Laws really, it's basically my journey from going from, 2008 all the way to 2016, where I went from, two transactions a year to 149 transactions a year by myself as an individual agent. And, these laws are basically born out of my own experience,
Okay.
right? And at each and every juncture of my journey and my career, there are certain things that I learn. And through the mentors and the coaches that I learned from, I put it all in that book, right?
Really?
So and each and every law is basically what I've experienced. So I never talk about something or preach or recommend, encourage something if I haven't done it myself, if I haven't experienced it myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's all from my own authentic experience
Yeah.
rather than just talking about something. And really through the hard times, that's what I'm sharing. So hope it connects with the audience. It's basically my story wrapped up in a book.
I'm going to buy it. I'm going to read it and I'm going to review it online.
Thank
That's what I'm
you.
going to do. I
Thank you.
love,
Thank you.
yeah, I love hearing about everybody else's success. Getting you need to get ideas. There's people that have been where you're trying to go, and it's really important to learn from those people. And you are one of them, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I today it's all about contribution, and that's why EXP fits so well because it really fulfills, it fills my cup, right? Because I've fallen out of love with buyers, fallen out of love with listing property, fallen out of love with managing the team, but I've fallen in love with coaching, training, and mentoring other agents and contributing in general and being being in communication and connection with you. This is what really drives me and gives me energy. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do that.
Oh my God, this is so great. And I totally understand what you're talking about, because when I shifted over to EXP and started mentoring my downline, I very quickly realized that that was the missing piece that of fulfillment in my life. Um, I'm a teacher, I think, and that's why I've shifted my business.
Love it.
So I totally get it. It's what drives you, right? You got to figure out what drives you, and you gotta do it. And helping people is this business is so closed door. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah,
shouldn't
yeah, it's
be. There is,
changing though. I
yes,
feel it's shifting with us. I feel it's
with
shifting
us
with
it
us. Yeah.
is. Yeah, absolutely. But everywhere
Yeah.
else, like there's new agents that come in from another brokerage and they just can't even grasp the concept that I'm going to hand them over my buyer and seller complete systems from A to Z. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this
Yeah.
is
Why
what
would
we
it do
do
that?
here. And
Yeah,
there's more than
exactly.
enough money for everybody. We don't need to be, cutting people down. We don't need to be blocking their success. We don't need to be stifling them. We need to be building people up, right?
Completely agreed. Yep. That's
I want to touch base a little bit before we're done about the Vancouver market. I lived in Vancouver for a little bit, so I'm super interested in this. What is going on right now in Vancouver?
okay. Sales are down 43%. Okay,
Mhm,
so um actually no, 39%. It went from 43,000 sales in 2022
mhm.
2021 to 2022 was 43,000 sales, and then 27,000 sales from 2022 to 2023,
Mhm.
right? And then the agent count went from 14,000 to 15,000. So as
Hmm.
you can see, sales dropped and then realtor count went up.
Yeah.
Okay. And right now, because of lack of inventory, there's less sales, but prices are up.
Mm.
So sales are down 40%, but prices are back up 10%, which is really, we're in a weird space right now. So if you have a listing, it's going to sell. But if you have a buyer, you're really starving unless you're really good at, converting the buyer or winning in multiple offers.
Mhm.
So we're likely going to see that for the next little while here with the rates going up on the 6th again,
Mhm.
right? It will tighten even more, right? And then until a couple years later, when the rates, everybody has to renew, then we'll see some inventory come on the market,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing right now. It's a tight market, so we got to work a lot harder. But for teams and for revenue share groups, I think people are all looking for a change. People
Yeah.
are all looking for that help. So people like you, agents like you who know how to help people, you're going to grow. And our team has grown because of that.
Yeah.
So I think agents who are out there listening right now, is a huge opportunity for you if you are committed.
Yes.
And because those 15,000 people, some of them will quit, and then you're going to gain more market share if you're committed, if you're willing to commit to never quitting, right? I think you can take more market share and win in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes. Yes. I absolutely love that. If you are out there and you are in a spot that both me and John have been in before, reach out. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
there's a different world out there waiting for you.
Come to
Okay.
me for prospecting help and go to Carrie for AI, social, and money management. Then you will be unstoppable.
Get them the whole package. I love it. I love it. You can't like I love that saying, you can never lose unless you quit. Like if you keep on going, you're never like you're not losing. You just keep doing it and it's going to pay off. It's just you got to do the
Absolutely.
work. I also feel like what advice would you have for agents because I coach so many agents. I feel like lead generation and business generate like lead generation is not the problem. I can, it's very simple mathematical equation generating leads. What the problem is conversion. So my personal
Yeah.
advice has always been like, because I'm not a converter. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. I hire an ISA when I am doing prospecting. I'm no longer doing it, but when I had an ISA working for me because I
Mhm.
understood that it's in my best interest. For the agents that are struggling with conversion, what is your advice to them?
You have to realize that follow up is the key. And prospecting and reaching out without lead follow up and nurturing that lead until they're ready to buy or sell is your biggest downfall. And most agents won't call past 2 to 3 contacts. It
Yeah.
takes on average 8 to 12 contacts to even set an appointment. And it takes countless meetings to actually get that to a sale. So that's how many contacts and meetings already, maybe 20. But most people are quitting at 2 to 3. So if you're just willing to follow up aggressively and intensely until the lead is ready to transact,
Mhm.
that's all there is to it. People just quit too maturely, and there's no magic in online leads, or there's no magic with SOI. You just have to call them until they're ready. And social media is great. It generates leads and it generates people calling in, but you still need to be able to follow up until they are ready to transact. So if you're listening out there right now, keep prospecting, keep following up on your leads until they tell you yes, or they tell you go fuck yourself.
And even then, just give them another shot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. John, I absolutely love having you on. I want to end this session with your advice on your top 3 restaurants in Vancouver for those of us coming to Van next week, and for all of the listeners out there that may be traveling over there in the next, year. Where do we want to go and eat? Tell me.
Perfect. You know what? If you're coming to our area here in Cole Harbor, in downtown, right by the convention, it would be Miku for Japanese. I mean,
Okay.
it's an absolute must. For Italian food, Savio Volpe out on Main Street. And
Mhm.
if you go on Main Street and Commercial, those two areas, you're gonna find a lot of, just amazing food and amazing culture and amazing people. But my favorite was Miku for Japanese. For steakhouses in Yaletown, you should go to Elisa Steak. Okay, check that out. Or right across the street, we have Blue Water Cafe, and those are the top of the top. I'm a simple guy. Those are what I know. Okay.
Yeah.
You might want to ask another foodie if you want to go to the Michelin star or some like $600 a meal, stuff like that. For the
Oh,
common folks, that's where I would go.
I
Oh,
love it.
don't let me forget this. If you love Cambodian food and Asian food, Phnom Penh has the best chicken wings in the universe. So you need to go there.
Okay, I'm going to check that out while I'm there. John, you are an amazing leader. You are an inspiration, and you are so accessible to your agents. And you know what? I really thank you for that. And I'm so happy that somebody like you is in the leadership role propelling EXP Canada forward. And yeah, we should do this once a year. Thank you for
Sounds
coming
good. Well, I look
on.
forward to seeing you next week. We are so honored to be partnered and in business with you. Let's grow together as partners to grow EXP Canada from 6,200 right now to 10,000. So look forward to
Yes.
seeing you soon.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.